I'm sorry. You're going to have to go off with your people. They need you up there in the stars. We've gone through a lot together. Our fake life as enemies, and then our fake love, and now our very real friendship. I'll always remember you. Go. Be free. Oh, jeez. Sorry. I didn't realize it was on. So that was a whole other adventure that I don't think would make a very good episode. But welcome to our Pixar tier list. We are going to decide what is the best Pixar movie because I love lists. I have a deep love of lists, and this was supposed to be a Christmas celebration, but then I was like, nah, we'll save Christmas for later. It's only December 4th. We can do it later on. And also, I'm here at my parents' house. There's like a winter weather warning, and I was kind of stuck in town. I came over here. I was like, well, I might as well stay because I don't want to get in a crash. So I've decided, to stay here. And if you want to hear the Pixar tier list and don't want to hear all this stuff, we're going to start at the 5-minute mark as usual. So just skip to the 5-minute mark. We should be fine. My stomach is really rumbling. I'm hoping that I'll be okay. I will have to apologize and go to the bathroom if not. You never know with this stuff. You never know. But I also am going to tell you some big news. So we are having a second child here on Almost Everything, a girl. But I guess you already knew about it. Harold and Jenny are having their second child. And there's a story with all of that. That'll be coming up. I'm still working on it. And I've got a TikTok coming out, finally. It's been hard work, but I got something very special. It should be out. I'd like to do it tomorrow, honestly. I think tomorrow would be a great day to shoot it off. But I thought I'd go ahead and show you two. I got the Toy Story 2 movie. So I've got the second one. Also, if there's any sounds back there, I apologize. I can't control it. There's nothing I can do. It's just kind of one of those things. I got stuck here, and I did promise you all I was going to do it. And I don't like to go back on my promises. If I say I'm doing a live event at a certain time, I've got to do it because I'm that kind of a perfectionist. I want everything to be perfect. But I got this for $1, Toy Story 2, and I will show you where that ranks. I don't own a lot of Pixar movies except Luca and now Toy Story 2. But it's for Frankie. When she gets older, she can watch those movies. Sorry the light's bad, too. Again, it wasn't really planned. Maybe I can get it a little better. Hold on. Does that help? Yeah. It's not too bad, honestly. I don't mind a little bit of bad lighting. It's just the way it goes on this channel. I have all sorts of Christmas decorations up at my own home. We will do that eventually. I just didn't even want this to be the live event. I was like, you know what? It is a Christmas celebration in a way. It's the first Christmas celebration, but it's not like our official Christmas live. This is more of kind of like the come on in if you want to sort of live event. But yeah, you'll be hearing a lot of news back there. My parents like listening to the news, so I'm not going to stop them. It's their house. And so now we got to do is wait until the 5. Oh, also, we are going to be doing the Smiling Friends thing. I looked it up, and it seems like it's fine. We'll even look at Ski Bay Toilet, see if that's like... we're going to start the Pixar ranking here in like 1 minute. So, but yeah, I'll do the Smiling Friends at the end. And also the see if any Ski Bay Toilet's up. I don't know if it is or not. Probably not. And I will try to watch this thing right here, the chat. I know sometimes I can be bad about that. I try. I'll like do it every minute. We've got like 15 seconds left till the Pixar theory. So just wait. Alrighty. And we can All right, deciding the best Pixar movies. I'm going to share my screen here. Share screen. Share. Love. Oh, my stomach's grumbling. Okay. I noticed something with my Disney one. It was very good, but basically it was me like going crazy about all the Disney movies out there, you know. And I thought to myself, that's not like it gets a little boring to listen to me just like talking about how wonderful the Disney movies are. But yeah, I will try to be a little more. I love Pixar too, though. That's the problem. They're so good, you know. They work so hard on those animated movies. They very rarely make one that's bad. That's the issue that I undergo, discussing this topic. Because I really think most of these are at least an A, or a lot of them are S's, honestly. It's just they worked so hard on these movies. There's so much money put into them. And we'll see if there's any that are even an F. I don't know. With Pixar, I don't know. I will say I do like the Disney animated movies more than the Pixar animated movies. I feel like with Disney, they were able to get like stories that are very different from each other. Pixar had the bad habit of copying a lot of their plots where they had like twist villains every time. And I've never been a fan of, with the exception of Phineas and Ferb, repeating the formula all the time. And with Pixar, it was just annoying because you knew there was going to be a twist villain. And they did try to change it up as much as they could. Mostly they succeeded. But there's other reasons why I kind of consider Disney animated to be better than Pixar. And I guess we'll get into that. But let's take a look here. Let's see what the list is. And at about 45 minutes, we'll do the Smiling Friends or so. Oh, and also, just real quick, by the way, I understand if nobody shows up. I get it. It's just the way it is with these lives. All right. I got to get started, though. We are at 7 minutes. I am being way too slow. Okay. Let us see here. Got plenty of... Oh, my gosh. Let's start with the first one, Up. So I actually met somebody who said this was their favorite movie of all time. And you know what? Freaking right. I mean, this movie's amazing. It is mind-boggling. It is definitely in the S tier. I couldn't even put it in like the A tier. I will say when I first watched it, I thought it was a little goofy with the dogs and stuff, but I still and being a little goofy is fine. I mean, it's Pixar. A lot of complaints are towards the beginning, where it's such a good beginning. They can't possibly do any better. And I will say I agree with that complaint. I think people that say that are right. It's kind of the nature of the story, and I understand why they went with it. And again, I think for some people it's going to work, but this is also my opinion. I have to state how I feel. And I feel like when you have a beginning that good, the rest of the movie, has to somehow reach that level. And I don't know if I could go as far as to say that. But again, that's just me, and it's still in the S tier. I would probably give it like a 99%. This is definitely one of the best, definitely in the top 10. It's the animation in this is so beautiful with the rainforest, and I mean, my gosh, that beginning. I'm saying how it was so good because it is. It is literally like a short film. You want to cry during it. And I didn't cry. That this is not a movie that made me cry. But yeah, oh my gosh, it is just such a beautiful beginning. I guess it's not even spoiling it if I say how it begins. It begins with his wife dying, and he goes off on this adventure with these balloons. It's a very silly adventure, and it's something good because there hasn't been a lot of silly adventures with the Pixar films. Both of the characters are great. Carl's great. The acting's great. I mean, the little boy is great. The dog's great. The dog's funny. He's not like one of the best Disney side characters, but he's really good. The villain's great. I mean, this is like 99%. So I hate to even give it a 99% because, I just think that the beginning is too good. But if my complaint is that something is too good, that just goes to show you how much I enjoy it. Up is a masterpiece. There's nothing more to say. The music. Oh my gosh, the music's so beautiful. All right. I don't know if we'll make it to 45. I've got so much to talk about with this. Oh, geez. We're starting off really good with this. Toy Story. This movie is like historic. I mean, it's not going to go on the C tier for sure. That's just my mouse being clumsy. We're putting that up here in the S tier. Is it better than Up? Yeah, it is. Well, I do admit the animation's worse, but it's also the no. Sorry, Up. Sorry to do that. I feel bad for Up already. I'm like, no, Up, you're going below something, but it's like it's Toy Story, I mean, what can be said about this movie that hasn't already been said? It's an incredibly historical movie. Everything going all right? Yeah, everything's going all right. Yeah, it's an historical movie. It is the first computer animated movie ever made. And the animation isn't always great, but that's something to be expected. It's like with Snow White. Although I will say, just for the record, Snow White's animation is better than Toy Story's, but it's a different field, so I understand that. I would probably say Snow White was better than Toy Story. That's just my opinion. Oh my gosh, the animation though in that Pixar film, it is. I mean, it's still really impressive that they were able to create humans, like humans in computer animation. That is difficult, and that was the first computer animated movie ever made before they had all this technology to do it. And like it changed it changed the game. I don't know what else to say. I mean, you got Woody and Buzz, two great characters. I've heard complaints about Woody being a bit of a jerk during this movie. That's the whole point, guys. I do not mind that at all. He's not so much of a jerk you want to slap him, so I don't mind. I always find that complaint too a little bit like, what do you mean he's a jerk? Like, okay. Like, is that your complaint? I mean, it can be a good complaint. I understand, we're judging stories. How do you judge a story? But I, I don't see that complaint working when the entire point of the film is Woody needs redemption. I mean, Woody needs to find friendship. That's the whole freaking point. It's not a good criticism. I mean, I don't really have any criticism really of Toy Story, with the exception that the animation does look bad now, but like still that's through today's lens. I mean, back then it was astounding that they were able to even do this. The story's great, the music's great. I've read the script to this and the jokes are just spot on. Every time I was like, yes, you got that. They use a lot of C's in the comedy. They'll be like hockey puck or something. And it's a great way to have a punchline. That letter C is powerful in comedy. I guess that's why it's called comedy, because it begins with a C and people laugh at the letter C. I don't know why people laugh at the letter C. It just seems to be a thing. I figured it out and then found out other people already knew about it. So I kind of have a little bit of pride about that. I was like, I knew that. I knew C was funny. It's a very funny letter. Very funny. And I mean, supporting characters, it's just so well plotted too. And the characters are so good. I mean, I guess they're not like the greatest characters I've ever seen, but I don't know. They're still really good. They still really perform their roles very well. So yeah, definitely Toy Story's up there. Monsters University. Oh my gosh, I love this movie. So cute. Do I put it at A or the B tier? Geez. And I also should state, I think Toy Story is 100%. I'm wondering if it's not going to be the best Pixar film. But, and this is 99, Monsters University. Give me a second. I love this movie, actually. There's a part of me that even likes it more than the first one. I do think it's a B, though. I think I have to remember this. I've actually watched all these movies, so I will be able to give my opinions on all of them. And Monsters University, it was really good. Computer animation is, of course, great. All the Pixar movies have. I don't even think there is a computer animated film from Pixar, with maybe the exception of one of the future ones we'll talk about with bad computer animation. They're all incredibly good. I hate to put it on the B tier though, because it's so close to the D tier. Is there any more than D tier? No, I guess not. Well, it's Mike and Scully, of course. I mean, they're just great characters to begin with. Again, the thing about Pixar is it has very simple characters. One of the reasons why I kind of enjoy the Disney animated films a bit more, even though I can't even really like say if I were to add them all up, the percentage on each of these movies, the Pixar's would probably win. But the Disney animated films already had great characters from literature and stuff. That helped them a lot. The characters, though, I mean, they're great. It's Mike and Scully. I mean, they all perform their roles perfectly. That is kind of the goal, really, with a Pixar film, to have characters that perform their goals. And yeah, I love the tasks and all. I think there were like, I'm trying to even remember what was wrong with this movie, why I would even put it at a B. I think there was just like a few moments where I was like, well, I can't even really think of any. Maybe I should put it in the A tier. I would say if I had a complaint, it'd be like Scully and Mike. I think I did have a little bit of problems with them when they went to like the Boy Scout thing, the Boy Scout camp. I felt it kind of started to like, oh, you know what? Honestly, I can't even really think of too much wrong to say. Maybe it's just because it's a sequel. I'm not going to lie. Maybe it's just because it's a sequel. They're in college, and I don't know. Maybe that's just the reason. Yeah, I still feel comfortable putting it at an A, though. A lot of these are going to get A's, honestly. Finding Dory. Okay, so this is one I'll have a little bit easier of a time complaining about. I should say, they have two really good actors in this. They do a very good job in Monsters University. But with Finding Dory, goes a little bit, definitely say it goes below Monsters University. So Finding Dory is also really good. This is going to get so boring for all of you, because all I'm going to do is say how great these movies are. I mean, it's animated films. They work on them for years. Of course they're going to be good. And it's Pixar too. So like it's, what are you going to do? Of course it's beautiful animation. The fact that they're putting all this through water, I mean, even now that's pretty difficult to do. The characters, again, they all perform their roles. Dory's a great character. It's funny to watch her because she's always like forgetting things. And she's an interesting character to follow as the main character. I mean, she's this woman with like amnesia. It's just, what characters have that disorder? I will think too. Sorry, I'm going to go back to Monsters University. I'm going to think about what was wrong with that movie. I feel like there was something very specific wrong with it. Maybe it was like, one thing I did like about the ending of this movie is just how they had to, have to figure out how to become scarers. It wasn't just something they could graduate college. They had to keep going with it. That was cool. Okay, sorry, back to Finding Dory. The one thing I didn't like about this movie was, you have Marlin and Nemo, and basically they're like, let's go for Dory. And we get this brief scene with the turtles, because of course they had to insert them. And then they're just there at the aquarium, and the whole story focuses around the aquarium. I almost feel like they should have just skipped the turtles part. It had no purpose except, hey, here's the turtles again. Not that I don't love the turtles. Crash is hilarious. I mean, there's this thing, I think it's in Disney World, where they have Crash talking to you and he makes all these jokes, and it's just, if you can find it on TikTok, it's hilarious because he'll like improvise all these jokes. I don't know how they do it. Maybe they have an actor, maybe it's AI, but if you ever get the chance, it is hilarious. Go watch it after you watch this video, of course. But I think that's really my main complaint. This movie's adorable. the little otters hugging, and the octopus turning invisible. And it's a good story about family, coming together. Again, music's great, acting's great. This is going to be hard because what else can you say? Finding Dory's just a really cute movie. Probably not as good as the first one, though. Definitely not. Because Finding Nemo is up in the S tier. Oh, yeah. Although, so the S tier is 100% to 97%, and A's 97 to 90, B's 80s, C 70s, and D 60s, of course. And I don't know. We'll get into that later. But I have a little secret for you all, okay? I won't spoil it. But Finding Nemo is, of course, amazing to watch. It's definitely a bunch of filmmakers coming together and doing these impossible things. I mean, underwater, these shots where they're like zooming in on things underwater. The comedy's gold. I mean, it has one of the greatest fart jokes ever made with those two storks, and that definitely gives it the 97%. It's not even because of like the story or the music or the characters or any of all that. It's because of the farting storks. But I have to say something wrong with it because it's not 100%. I didn't like the plot. I didn't think the plot really worked. It really drug the movie down. Not a ton, but it's just like there's a part of me that's like, maybe they shouldn't have even had the sun story in this. Or maybe they should have like cut, you could cut so much of Nemo's adventure, but you really can't cut any of Marlin's adventure. They're not matching these stories. They're completely different stories. I didn't like it. Now, I'm sure some people will be like, no, that's fine. Hey, this is story criticism, okay? I get it. Believe me, there's a lot of doubt. I cannot, in good conscience, though, put it anywhere than the S tier. From my storytelling perspective, that was kind of a mistake. I almost prefer if they just cut all of Marlin's scenes, or at least keep them very low. It just, on the one hand, yeah, it's a story about Nemo. Oh, it's Nemo, not Marlin. I think I said Marlin. I apologize. I don't usually make mistakes like that. Marlin's the one going on the adventure. Nemo's the one that was captured. My apologies. Let's see if there's any comments yelling at me. Goated tier list so far. Thank you. I'm trying my best. Yeah. I still stand by my statement. I do enjoy that Nemo has to learn something too. That's always nice. But really, he was just too normal at the beginning too. He was right. Marlin was being too overprotective. You can't really blame him for wanting to like go free. Although I guess he does kind of in that scene be like, I'm going to break the rules, and he rushes over and touches the boat against his dad's will. So he did deserve a little punishment. I wish they could have done it faster. Again, it's a 97%. You can't be too mad at me. I gotta say something. Oh, also the sharks are funny. I really enjoyed the shark scene. Very great movie. Very great. Cars 3? Is that 3? Let me make sure. Cars. Oh, this is Cars 3 because, yeah, I remember. Cars 3. This is often regarded the worst Pixar movie. And I went to the trouble of watching all of these movies just for all of you. I was like, well, I love Pixar. I might as well. And I watched Cars 3, and I have to say, the people that hate on this movie are wrong. It's great. I don't know what the heck is, like, it's a B at least. It is at least a B. And, I feel like I'm being kind of generous and not going A route, but I do feel like B is pretty right. Look, if you don't like it, it's fine. Whatever. But, like, I think people are getting confused. It's just the story of Mater. It's not even really Cars 2. Did I say Cars? I'm making a lot of mistakes today. Okay, that's the last mistake I'm making on this video. I get two strikes. No, Cars 2 it's fun. That's how I look at it. They're cars and they're spies. They're going on this like absolutely ridiculous adventure. A lot of people complain about the world of Cars, but man, I love the world. It's just so cool to see all these cars like somehow having to move about. It does get a little annoying the fact that they don't have arms. Uh yeah, the Tokyo looks beautiful. The story's good. I will say the twist villain, I saw it coming. You know, I didn't like it. It's something that Pixar's always doing, and yeah, I didn't enjoy it. I didn't find Mater to be annoying. I think Larry the Cable Guy. I will say that is one thing that kind of drops it down to Larry the Cable Guy, and even Owen Wilson. They're not my type of acting. I don't like them. I don't consider them to be good actors. Maybe Owen Wilson's a lot better. Larry the Cable Guy, though, I mean, he's doing his thing in his defense. He's Larry the Cable Guy, but I wouldn't recommend him as an actor. His stand-up's really good. Good, I'd say, not great or anything, or masterpiece level. Probably like an B, maybe an A tier. Maybe I'd say an 89 for Larry the Cable Guy for me. He's I think he's more for rednecks. Anything else I want to say about Cars? We're kind of talking too much about these, so I might move on. But everything's great in Cars except maybe the story, the rates. But it's a beautiful movie to look at, and the twist villain and the acting do kind of drop it. Just a fun little story, though. The Incredibles. This is the original. Okay. What are we gonna do? Putting it with below Cars 3, of course. Of course not. I'm not that crazy. Oh, some of the jokes in Cars 2, 2 aren't very good. Mostly they're passable, though. The Incredibles definitely goes above Finding Nemo. And again, the plot. Beautiful animation. The acting is exceptional. The characters, again, all perform. They do exactly what I'd hope. The power. I mean, this is the perfect Incredibles film. And it's the perfect Fantastic Four film as well. It manages to be both. I love the characters. They're great what they go through. And when they're fighting the main villain, he's a great villain. I mean, come on, he's probably the best Pixar villain. I would say, yeah, I'd say he's the best Pixar villain. And the journey that the main character goes through, where he discovers that he he discovers that he needs to be with his family, to the togetherness. Yeah, just such a good film. I mean, the villain, the animation, the action scenes are amazing. Although I do worry about Dash having to kill all of those people. He's going to have a lot of them, I'd imagine, but maybe not. I don't know. Maybe he just likes killing people. Elastigirl's great. I guess the kids don't have the biggest purpose in the movie. That'd be like one thing that kind of pushes this down for me. And that's about it, though. I mean, the villain, the twist villain, too. Again, Pixar likes its twist villains, and I do not. I do not like these twist villains. It's one of the biggest complaints I have about Pixar, actually. Hold on, I gotta load it. It's not so bad in The Incredibles, though, because just everything's so top-notch other than that. I'm just putting it on charge. Comedy's gold, too. They managed to meld comedy and action really well. Oh, for gosh sakes. Okay. Be quiet. All right, we're good. And we're back. Okay, so we got 5, 6, 7 of them done. I'm on the halfway mark. Ratatouille. Oh man, Ratatouille. Ooh. So many people I know hate this movie and were like, this is the bad Pixar movie of the 10, because even back in my day, people were getting a little too critical about movies, got in ridiculous territory. I would say Oh, it's better than Incredibles. It's a 99 too. Yeah, this is 100. This is 99. This is 99. This is 98, I guess, and this is 97. Ratatouille is beautiful. I mean, it is a pretty simple story, but there's, thank goodness, no twist villains. The rats are rats. They're that's why people don't always like Ratatouille, because the rats are like all in the restaurant making food and people think it's gross. I'm like, again, that's your complaint. Okay. The villain is, there's two villains really, the critic and that French guy. I like the villain that's the critic. That critic scene is so beautiful. That last speech, and really the whole story is great. Just having this rat. I would say the liar reveal, and this is actually an idea by Nostalgia Critic, but it's a very good one. The lie reveal. It's something I noticed when I was a kid. It's very overdone. Ratatouille was not the first to come up with it. But aside of that, this movie's fire. That's why it's a 99%, because I just can't really come up with a lot to say about it. The animation's great. I think the fur for the rats was pretty revolutionary. A lot of movies that did it before Ratatouille, including Monsters Inc. And of course, we'll always wonder whether or not there's animals under people's hats controlling them. I, for one, will. The Good Dinosaur. D. I know. I've met a lot of people, a lot of families that love this film because they think it's so sweet and all. I mean, it's just a D. I don't know. I'll go ahead and admit it. This is the worst one. The Good Dinosaur is the worst. This is so the backgrounds are so realistic, and then they got these cartoony dinosaurs running around, and yeah, I don't like it. I know other people have said that. When I watched it, I was like, no, this doesn't work. It just doesn't meld. I don't even like the main characters' names, Milo and Spot. I was like, Milo, that's a great name. That's a great name. Or it might have been Otis. I don't know. I think it's Milo though. And then they have Spot, a human, and it's like immediately you go to dog. I know it's storytelling. Everyone's gonna have a different opinion about that. I don't like it, and I also don't like that the brontosauruses are spitting on crops in order to grow them. I will say I don't like the villains either. The villains are crap. Even the characters, the main characters are passable. I guess they're good enough. They serve their function like a lot of Pixar characters. I will also say that I don't even really like the moment where Spot goes to his family. I don't even think it works for the moral. The plot line that kind of makes it go to a D for me is the thing with the father and the son. I think that was beautiful. I almost wish they didn't have that scene where the son sees his father, because I was like, well, you don't even need that. Like, just feeling that loss, him being alone, is good enough. You don't need the dad there. Yeah, I am not a big fan of The Good Dinosaur. I love dinosaurs. I wish there was a good dinosaur movie that was good, but we're just going to have to settle for Gertie. That was the first, and that will probably remain the best. This one, it comes close to being a fail, and if it wasn't for that father storyline, that is kind of messed up, yeah, I'd rank it lower. But there's some good jokes, there's some good animation. Fine, whatever. I don't like it, but it is what it is, I guess. Let me make sure. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, everybody. I did not know you were all talking to me, man. Oh, I like the good time. Like I said, this storytelling stuff is very opinionated. I don't like. I kind of like it, and I wouldn't give it like an F. There's an ad behind you. Kind of scared me there. There's no ad behind me. You always getting fool. Someone in chat said you cough like an iPad kid. I don't know what that means. What size shoe? 11. I was at the shoe store actually today. Did you know that? It's kind of weird. L list. I love lists. That's why I'm doing this. Yeah, it's okay if you like The Good Dinosaur. I understand. I guess that's just going to have to be my unpopular opinion. There's some really good stuff in it. Some good humor, some good storytelling, some good characters. I can't though. Sorry. Most of these will get good reviews though. Cars. Cars. Yeah, A. And I think it is above Monsters University. My grandpa loved this movie. He was a big car fan. He was actually a race car driver, if you all didn't know. Uh, yeah, beautiful animation. Owen Wilson, I know I'm saying he's a bad actor, but he's usually fine. I mean, he's not like one of the masterpiece level like Tim Allen or Tom Hanks or whoever did these guys, but it still did a really good job. It is kind of like a story you've seen a lot. The small town guy goes to the big city guy goes to the small town and he has to find himself. I thought they did it really well though. Mater was funny. And I mean, the story could be very beautiful sometimes, like some of the shots and the music. I've listened, I got the soundtrack to this. I got the CD, and that's the only movie of these that I can say that of. But I don't even know really what to say. I mean, the only thing that really drops it down is just the story beats are just a little, comfortable. They're the kind of thing you've heard about before. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's true having cars as the main characters. It does. They don't have hands, so how are they supposed to move about and live their lives? You have to watch them wheeling around everywhere. You get a little confused about the world. There is some truth to that. I understand why people make that complaint. I don't know if it really ruins it for me. I still enjoy looking at the world of cars, but yeah, it's something to consider. I like The Bad Dinosaur. Maybe she's talking about a different movie. Or is it Mr. Mustache? I'm sorry. Maybe he's talking about another movie. I can't go up any higher, so Cars is so good. Yeah, it is a really good movie. Honestly, I'm gonna no, I won't spoil it for you. I'll hold off. Okay. All right, Cars 2, Cars 3. Yeah. Yeah. Is it better than the original Cars? Yeah. Yeah, it is. I love the entire Cars trilogy. I couldn't rank any of these below a B. They're really good. Cars 3, I think the idea was for it to be more realistic with the trailer. It wasn't. It was still the child-friendly fun. Oh, and by the way, just want to thank them so much for having those two radio host announcers on what are they called? The Ratchet and Clank duo. Oh, I love them. I used to listen to them when I was kids. When I heard them in this movie, and no one's going to understand what I'm talking about, but there were these two radio announcers. They're hilarious. And they were in the movie. It's completely unexpected because they're not really that popular. I guess the people that watched Cars were fans of them or something. They're like they're this little radio station group. And what was their slogan? They were like, you I forget what they just laughed a lot. That was really their quote. That was them. They just laughed all the time. They came up with some fun car things though. But yeah, great animation. I like this story even more than the original Cars. I think it was the underdog story, but yes, teach her kind of. Well, at first he's not really teaching her. He's going to try to win the race himself. But eventually becomes that story a lot more interesting of a plot. I mean, I just watched this recently. What is there even bad to say about it? It's really high up there. Oh, I do like that they have Mater in the movie. I really appreciated that, actually. I was like, are they going to even have him in? Because everyone was complaining about Cars 2. And they did. And I thought that was a wise choice. I don't think you should remove a character like that. But some of the jokes I remember not working. I don't remember which ones, though. It's a really good story. And, you expect the one person to be a villain, and he wasn't really. Or was he? Was that the problem? No. How are we doing? Cars 2 is the best of the car series to me, low key. Hey, a B. Most people wouldn't rate it that much. They don't like it. Octavius talk one more time. ISTG. Green apples. Imagine if Ninja got a low taper fade. It would be cool for Ninja. We aren't going to be able to make it to 45 for the Smiling Friends thing, I don't think, or the Ski Bitty Toilet thing. We're just going to have to keep going, I'm afraid. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. What's bad to say about Cars 3? The animation's great. I think the story's great. I mean, there's a part of me that kind of wishes Lightning McQueen would have like won the race, but I guess he never wins. I don't even think he wins a little bit in Cars 2, but he never usually wins the race. It's kind of one of the weird things about Cars. He's Lightning McQueen. He's got to win. No, that's not my real complaint. I guess it's really just the acting. Honestly, I'm sorry. I don't think they're bad actors. I'm just not the biggest fan of Owen Wilson and Larry the Cable Guy. You all can disagree with me. It's fine. Bug's Life, A, just A. It's their Bug's Life was kind of lucky with their plot because they did the lie reveal, but it was just at the right time where there wasn't too many people doing it. They were very, very close. So it still hurt them, I think. It still puts them low, but not too low. I mean, it's just an enjoyable world. All these bugs fly. I remember watching this as a kid. I didn't even really have too much wrong to say with it. I mean, the hero ant character, it's a little bit of a trope, but I don't know. I think he still manages to be different from most hero characters. The supporting cast is amazing. The ladybug, the caterpillar, even the little girl, and just the whole world. The villain, oh my gosh, that villain was terrifying to me as a child. I was afraid of grasshoppers. The bird, I always like the bird scene. I don't know why. The bird scene is a great ending. And yeah, it does fall under the bad plot line a little bit, but I mean, it's still beautiful to look at. An impressive accomplishment by Pixar, especially for their second film. Just a fun little movie, really. Honestly, yeah. Yeah, just really fun. And if the worst thing is that your plot line seems a bit predictable, it's not too bad of a thing. Okay, Incredibles 2. I wish I could like it more because there's nothing really too much wrong with it. It's definitely high up there. I'm going for B. Yeah, I gotta go with B. I really like this movie. It's a very great action film. I guess I'm okay with the fact that all they did to make it different or stand out, for the most part. Don't tell Santa Cruz. Imagine if Santa Cruz got a red 40 fade. I've never met Santa Cruz. Is that the Tom Cruise version of Santa Claus? You eat steaks and eggs on a cutting board. I eat eggs. Steaks are just okay to me. I'm not a huge fan of them. I'll be back to you all in a second. I'm going to just really quickly rank Incredibles 2 here. We have spent so much time with this. It's Incredibles 2. The superpowers they choose for those other characters, though, are great. One thing I'll get into the positives first, actually. The characters are still great. I mean, the acting was all great. The action scenes, I don't think they're as good as the first one, but they definitely have some really good ones. The stuff with the portals is so cool. I mean, that superpower dominated. The other superheroes are just kind of like standing back from the girl that could make those portals. And of course, the story is the same as the first one. That's another reason why I still had a lot of fun with it. There's a part of me that just kind of thinks there's a few things that make it just seem like just a little less than the first one, especially the ending, where in the first one they had this big guy coming out with his big digging thing and stealing money from the bank. This one ends with the most bland robbers stealing money from the bank. It's just, yeah. That's it. They're just like they're traditional robbers in these like little ski hats, and they're in their call. Most popular opinion, but I stand by it. All right, I'll come back to you all. Yeah, it's Incredibles 2 though. Great music, great superpowers, great action scenes, great comedy, great character. You should rank Yamcha edits. Seth, are you a Rogan or a Jiddlyang? I'm a Futalatugan. I think. I don't know what that means. Am I saying something inappropriate? I can't imagine. It sounds just baby gibberish, so I'm hoping not. El Vegeta. Tian or Yamaha? Tian. I like the letter T. Okay, back to Pixar rankings. I've got to share it. We've got to talk about these movies too. Wall.E! Whew! That's the sound I make towards Wall.E. Such a good film. Such a good film. Dang, it's such a good film. I mean, oh my, is it better than Up? Wall.E is so good. Definitely in the top 5. It's got to be, right? Unless this tier list surprises me. Criterion Collection for some reason. I guess it was that good. Oh, it is. It's good. I'm gonna put it below Up. I think Up is just perfect Pixar, and Wall.E is too. It's a 99% for sure. Just the animation. It's a silent. How they were able to do those silent scenes at the beginning. It's just beautiful. And the love story. It just watching Wall.E falling in love with Eve. Just it makes you want to cry. It really does. I wouldn't, of course, because I'm tough. But it almost made me want to cry. And even like the whole philosophy of it, just up in that spacecraft, everyone in the entire world has become like these beings of commercialism, just doing as the computers tell them. It's a warning for all of us, and it's a good warning. And man, it just the robots, everything, that flight in space Wall.E and Eve do, the music, it's definitely one of the most artsy of the Pixar films. And yeah, beautiful. I even like the villain, even though a lot of people complain about the villain. He's a computer. He's not going to have too much emotion. I would say they do jump from being quiet to talking. And again, this isn't a huge complaint. I realize this is kind of just me, but I have to also be fair and realize 100% should be hard to get to. So yeah, I didn't like how they go from silent to talking, although I do think they really eased into it well. So even that's not really a huge complaint. No, it's still, they still do a really good job with it. And honestly, yeah, that would be my only real thing I could say against Wall.E. It's so adorable, so adorable. How are you all doing? Seth, is Lane's a boom or a doom? Doom. No, I'm Doom. I'm definitely Doom. Big Justice or the Rizzler? Big Justice. Heck yeah. Glazing. I can't see the tier list there. An ad behind you, man. There's this little ad for essential minerals for whole body wellness. Is that what you mean? I mean, to exit out of this? I hope nothing inappropriate pops up because I touched this ad. How would I even? It's not up. Oh, okay. Yep, something popped up. Can you not see this? Oh, for gosh sakes, we went to Walmart. Please be fine. Please be fine. Oh, looks like we're fine. Oh, it's still good. Okay, thank goodness. Whew. Let's just deal with the ads. I can't imagine. I'm sure I'm on the screen and it seems like it's fine. Yeah, it looks okay. Yeah, I can't even exit out of it without fearing losing the entire thing. Okay, well, let's just let the ads do what they do. Nah, you're bouncing on it. I hate Nature Made reports. Seth, if you turn down 4 watt, it makes your performance better. Turn down, where would that be? I hate the Packers. Oh my goodness, I'm done. Okay. I don't know if I can really do anything about these ads. I mean, I'm sure there's an X here somewhere, but I don't see it. I'm too afraid of losing it again. These were at 50 minutes. I would love to hear about 4 watts. If you would please post me how to put it at 4 watts, I will do it. Let's do Monsters Inc. next. I didn't miss any, did I? If I did, I'll see it for sure while I'm going up here. Monsters Inc. Monsters Inc. Okay, where should Monsters Inc. go? Is it better than Incredibles? I don't think so. There's always a lot of there's always a lot in the S tier. Animated movies. Yeah, it's Monsters Inc. Impressive how they were able to get all those hairs on Scully. I almost said Mike. Scully's hair and how it flows is an incredibly impressive accomplishment. I think it's even an impressive accomplishment in just regular animation. Maybe not. That's a little bit different. I know it is. I mean, that's why one of the reasons why I love Snow White so much. Just how the water runs through the dwarf's hands. It's just amazing. But yeah, it's 2 really great characters. The story is so cute with Boo. They do have the Lyra reveal. It was pretty early on, though, with the Lyra reveal story. I guess it could hurt it just a little bit, enough to... But not the Lyra... Well, I think they do the Lyra reveal, too, but they also do the twist enemy, which... It's just, I don't know. I don't really think it's that cool. And, I don't know what I'm supposed to feel with these twist villains. Like, oh, I'm so amazed that the most obvious person that could have been the villain is the villain. Like, I've been expecting it the entire time, like with Incredibles 2, and shock, just absolute shock. I have to give you, why are they doing this? Is it like something that the studio is making them do? Which, in that case, I do feel for them. I love Boo. So cute. Such a cute girl. I love the story. I love the villain. Randall, man. I think every kid loved Randall. He could turn like invisible. The story's really good. The music's great. Of course, the animation is good. Yeah, I mean, it's Pixar. It's Pixar. Also, really like Mike. I really liked his journey in that movie. He just like he does not want to be a part of that adventure, but he will do it for his friend. And it's kind of in a way better than Woody and Buzz's friendship because they're friends the whole time. And it's really them just working out something, which is kind of an interesting thing. I guess it's been done before, but it's always nice to watch. Inside Out. Oh, where am I going to put this? Man, this is one of the newer, one of the modern ones that is also really good. I'll come back to you all real quick. Seth, if you turn down 4 watt. I don't know what that means. I can't see D tier. Is Up in it? No, Up isn't in it. Up! Silky doing too much. Pandora, I hate this. Ingredients blocking tier list. Hold on, let me check my phone. I don't think anything's being blocked. It's there. I mean, it's definitely ruin your all's experience or anything, but I don't see anything huge being blocked. Just give me 1 sec. Hold on. I'll make sure nothing's being like completely blocked. I don't see the Pixar one. I wonder how you guys found this video. Slug Woman and Monsters Inc. kind of bad. Yeah, that's true. Well, that's fair. It's in the A list. Like I said, I don't like the beginning. I think they kind of forced. They tried to. They had the turtles in there, which I think kind of like messed it up. Actually, I think they should have either they could have had the turtles, but they should have just been there at the aquarium with them. It was just a completely useless scene. Did not like it. Seth, turn up your resolution. if you'll explain to me how to turn up my resolution, I would gladly do it. I don't see anything about that. Your bit rate is too high. It's heating my phone. Yeah, you're gonna have to explain further. Uh, yeah, I'll do that if you turning down 4 watt helps. I don't know where would I click. We'll worry about it here in a second. I mean, you all have made it this far. Definitely put down how to do that stuff, and I will do it. I don't see anything, to be honest. Oh, okay. So where were we with Inside Out? Oh, what's my gosh? It's in the S tier. Goodness gracious. S tier. Not. I wouldn't say it was past Ratatouille. Yeah, Inside Out. It's an interesting concept. I guess it's been done before in cartoons, but I don't think that really counts. This was really the first movie they did it. I mean, the characters, joy, disgust, sadness, anger, they're all great. They all serve their purpose. They're like a lot of Pixar characters, you know. I couldn't say I really think any of them are the greatest characters ever, but they're really good and they all do what they're supposed to do. There's no villain in Inside Out except joy. So part of me that thinks maybe that was a mistake. I don't really like the control panel either, that one location, which there's not much really to look at with it. The story though with Riley is yeah, it's a great story to have alongside Inside Out and just the whole honestly, the whole world inside Riley's mind, that joy and sadness go around is really good. And Riley's story, it's just something that we all go through. Riley's a great character. I think she's such a she's a character I think all of us can put ourselves in. We all go through that crying in a classroom in front of everyone and embarrassing ourselves. Or maybe we like sports, or maybe we don't like broccoli. But maybe we do, but we still can relate with that. We can still relate with all of those things. She's a cool girl. She really is. She's a cool character. This is definitely one of Disney's best modern movies. Yeah, it's definitely at least at a 98. Again, I don't have much to complain about. I guess I just didn't like the control panel. I know that's a little bit skeptical. Plenty of people be like, "What are you talking about?" And that's fine. Um, I like the imaginary friend. He was funny. I like that he. I kind of like that he disappears. I sometimes wish they did have a villain in this one because it just would have helped the focus of what we're trying to accomplish. But same rate, I get where they're coming from. Every time they make a villain, people complain about it being a twist villain. So the world's really cool. Definitely something for kids to relate with, going through different emotions and accepting those emotions. Joy's the bad guy, and sadness is kind of the one that's being downtrodden. We kind of reject the sadness. I feel like that's something a lot of people have said about this movie, but it is true. So I'll say it as well. What are we at here? Ouch. Opinions on Rango. Great film. Great film. It would be in the S tier, probably a 97. Twist villain was. I'm just not a big fan of these twist villains. I think it's something that the studio forces these film studios to do. I'd hate to think that this was something they just decided to do. We're at an hour. Great. I don't even think we'll have time for smiling friends. Might do a brief thing. Did you buy Darius figure yet, Seth? No. Ginyu Force or J. Cole? Uh, Ginyu Force? Lathan or Darius? Darius. Ouch. My phone is burning. Please down the terminal in the Meta Shield. Oh, it was like a joke. My phone is burning. Okay, I wanted to make sure your phone wasn't actually burning. You sounded very... Okay, so there we go. I have to go to the bathroom so bad, but I will suffer for all of you. I love you all. I do my best to entertain you. Yeah, a lot of these movies, including even the ones on A-list, I don't even really know what bad to say. I feel kind of guilty even ranking them the way I do. Coco, it's one of the modern Disney movies that's also really good. I don't know if I liked it as much as some people did. I definitely would put it below, well, yeah, I'd put it below Incredibles. I'd say like a 96. The stuff they do with the instruments, if you all didn't know this, and this is true also in just classical animation, having the fingers go across those strings, an impressive accomplishment. And of course, it's being done a whole bunch, so that makes it even more impressive. The Land of the Dead was great. It was beautiful. Maybe not the greatest world. I kind of wish they almost did more with it, but I mean, Coco's great. A little better. I don't even. Well, the villain was pretty good when you stop and think about it. How he killed his friend in order to become famous, and yet he's so relatable too. You know, like I could see somebody doing that. Like I could see someone killing someone, you know, to become like a famous artist and make all these millions of dollars. I wouldn't. I do not like murder at all. I think I would hope all of you feel the same way. And that scene at the end, that is one thing I think Pixar has above Disney animated films, the endings. They are really good at ending things. And apparently their philosophy is to start with the ending, and it works. That is a philosophy I would get behind. I don't like the scene. This is a small complaint. I have to go through the complaints. It makes me sound like I hate the entire movie, that I'm making these one little complaints, but it's not true. Most of these movies are so good the whole way through, and there'll just be one small thing that kind of does lower it for me. But I do not like the scene where the bad guy gets his voice recorded in front of everyone. It's something that's been done in just a lot of Hallmark movies, a lot of movies in general. It's just been done a lot. There's no reason. Like, I just wish they could have done it some other way, been a little smarter about it. But the world is pretty beautiful, honestly. I would say, just to give myself another excuse to put this low, there's a part of me that would have wanted more from the world, but I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Did I rank that higher than Monsters Inc? No. What's Finding Nemo doing all the way down here? Oh, no. We've got to change this a little bit. Yeah. Monsters Inc. Coco, better than, I'd say it's lower than Coco. Monsters Inc. It's still in the S tier, though. So I guess these are 90. It's close. That's why it's so hard to decide with this. 97, 98, 98, 99, 100. So no other 100s yet. Until now. Toys. I will address some criticisms that almost hurt this movie. They almost do. And it's actually and of course I will. I'm going to watch it. I'm sorry it's taking me so long. I didn't expect it to. We'll just have to wait. You can watch it afterwards and find it in the video if you want to. Seth, do you Aztec Flickergoon? Those who know. Yeah, man. Toy Story 2 is just the best comedy of any of the Pixar films, like hands down. This movie, I was all around and talked about our favorite jokes in this film for like a straight hour. It was just following along, like Woody and Buzz and their unfriendship. We're following around them finding them, Buzz trying to help his friend, which is, I do admit, is a little better than Toy Story, even though I do defend Toy Story for having that setup. I mean, Toy Story 2's twist villain too, Prospector Pete. Oh, here's the movie itself. But Prospector Pete, he would be a bad twist villain if it weren't for the fact that this is the first twist villain, or at least the first from like a major studio. I could not find any other ones. And even if there were other ones, it was one of the first times. So it was a definitely good train to go on. I did not see Stinky Pete being a bad guy the way they changed it around. This was a good twist villain. This was a really good twist villain because you didn't know. You'd know now. If you watch this movie today, you'd know. I was going to attack this movie for referencing Star Wars because I was afraid people wouldn't get the joke if they didn't know what Star Wars was. But one, it is Star Wars, and two, I don't know. I feel like even if you don't know what Star Wars is, you could get a laugh from it. So is it better than the original Toy Story? The comedy is definitely better. Yeah, yeah. I think Toy Story 2 should be there. I would say it's 100% for sure. Absolutely. Seth, what do you think about Daniel Larson? I don't know who he is. I've never heard of him. I'll have to look him up after this. Seth, I can't see the list anymore. I don't see that problem happening. I'm looking at the main screen here, unless there's something really different going on. I know there's some ads, but I don't really know if I can do anything about that. Like, if you have a suggestion, please write below in the comments if you have an idea. It looks to me like it's not being blocked a significant amount. But if you do have a problem with it, please tell me. Okay. Yeah, just give me some instructions and I will definitely change it. I want to know. I want to be able to fix it. I really do. I'm not that kind of person. Um, but yeah, it's Toy Story 2. I mean, funny. Characters are great. The new characters they introduce, Mrs. Potato Head, Jessie. Oh, Jessie's a good character. Great female character. Even some sad scenes. There's even some serious philosophical moments like Jessie being left behind. Of course, the animation's great. The way they do the human characters is even better than the first film. I mean, I can't say Toy Story, the original's bad, of course, but the animation is a lot better. I will say, I guess, just for the record, I still think Snow White's better, but that's just my opinion. It's still 100% Toy Story. And Toy Story 3. We got to hurry a bit. I am way past time. I'm so sorry, everybody. It's just these movies. Let's put it here for now. When this movie came out, people were ostracized for disliking it. And I want to say that's if you want to dislike this movie, that is completely fine. I don't care. You can hate this movie if you want. I would say it's 100% myself. I have really no complaints. Honestly, I will say the second time I watched it, I liked it a lot better than the first time. That is the closest thing to a complaint I have. One thing I really respect about this movie is how they're able to have so many characters going on, and it worked. Like, even for it to work at that level is impressive. That is a huge undertaking when you have Woody, Mr. Potato Head, Jesse, Rex, these new characters coming in like Ken and Barbie, and somehow they made it work. Of course, the whole thing with them like escaping is great. If I had any reason for putting it below these two, because there isn't really any reason, they're all 100%, and they're all something I feel very strongly about as being like the best trilogy ever. I'd say maybe the twist villain. I mean, Toy Story 2 got away with it because it was the first real time it had ever been done. I don't know about Toy Story 3, but even that, man, that villain was so good. And you kind of do expect him to be the bad guy, but you're okay with it. You know he's going to be the bad guy. They're not like really hiding it as much. And he has some really great philosophy, like how the toys have to decide whether or not they want to be like throwing these other toys, these lower toys under the bus, or trying to like share the pain of these little kids tearing them up, which, by the way, that's not really how little kids work. I've worked at a school. Little kids do not tear up their toys that way. I don't know, maybe some classrooms do. When we're talking about preschool, though, they're just quiet. That's my experience with preschool. There's chaos, but it's very controlled chaos. It's not. But then again, it might just be a special classroom. Yeah, I'm not going to complain about that. That's not a real complaint. Don't ignore that. I'm sure there's plenty of preschool classrooms where the kids are crazy. I don't know too many of them, but there probably do exist, yes. Yeah, I mean, it's Woody and Buzz, of course. I love Woody's journey. I love the ending. The ending was, I have to say much. It's just them coming to the realization that they are going to die. They're these immortal almost toys, but they're not immortal. They are going to die someday. They are going to get ruined. And just watching them all grab hands together, I didn't cry, but I kind of wanted to. And then they have the whole Andy giving away his toys, giving up. It's the perfect ending. It's the perfect ending. So, of course, they're going to try to make another one. Okay, we'll get into that later. Brave. I don't really have too. Gosh, we're so late. Yeah, yeah, I loved it. Yeah, it's great. It's brave. Say, I would say it's above Finding Dory. No, I couldn't go that far. It's just a cute little. I think it's more in the B tat. 89% for sure. I actually really liked it. I know a lot of people that think it's the weakest of Pixar's films. I mean, I don't know. I thought it was great. I didn't like the villain too much. He was kind of boring. There's apparently a whole backstory with him that would actually explain him a lot better. But the way he's presented in the film isn't really my favorite. Ad ad covering whole screen. I don't really know what I can do about that if that's the case. I mean, I can't exit out of an ad I can't even see on here. It's not appearing on our main board, and I can't get to my thing here. I don't see it, everybody. Why is it not appearing? Hold on, let me switch users. Maybe that'll help. I don't see it like doing that on here or on my thing. Nope. Is that me? I am sharing the screen, aren't I? No, I am sharing the screen. What? Share. I don't see anything wrong. Oh, it's speaking bad on my list. I'm sorry about that. There's really not much I can do. If you have a suggestion, please tell me. It's weird because on here it's showing that the thing's not up, but maybe that's just because. Hold on. Does it work now? Well, it says it's sharing. On my channel, though, it's not working. So on this thing, it's not showing the Pixar list. Is a Pixar list not even up? I don't see it on here. It should be. It says it's sharing. Yeah, it says it's sharing. I don't know. What the heck is going on here? Seems like all of you are saying though that it's on the screen, right? Hmm. It says it's sharing it. I don't know. I can't see it. It doesn't make any sense. Where did it go? Let's stop sharing for a second and we'll share it. Should be sharing. It says it's sharing the screen. It says it's sharing the screen. Here it goes. That doesn't make any sense because I'd already shared it. I know for certain. I think it might just be the internet. I think it might be the internet that is what's going on. There it is. I don't know. It must have been the internet. It was 100% sharing. No doubt in my mind. If it was there originally, it must have shut off at some point. So my theory is there's a snowstorm going on outside. I don't know. Yeah. Hopefully if it's on here at all. Yeah, it's on here the whole time. So it had to have been the snowstorm. That's my only explanation because I did not end the sharing screen. But anyways, I'm sorry if this has been. I don't know. I don't even want to think about it. We'll look at it later. It was sharing, and it was saying it was sharing. So I don't know. Maybe it was the storm. Where was I? Finding Dory, Brave. Just a beautiful film. I like the character. I like the villain. Fine enough, I guess. The bear was kind of a drawback. I don't like anything really that references Brother Bear. Maybe that's why I'd put it in the B category. My part, but I will admit that just focusing in on the or Up, it doesn't have that epic scale. It just feels like a small kind of comedy. instead of the big epic thing that every Pixar film's supposed to be. Still pretty good, though. I mean, they got Scotland right, the fairy tale aspect. Characters are fine, I guess. All the acting is good. I'm glad they don't use big name actors. I don't know what happened there. It is 100% not my fault. You saw the screen. I looked on my video earlier. It's on there. I don't know what happened. Seth, I think the puka is slowing your stream down. Maybe. I do know what a puka is. Oh, that's a good... You knew the reference. You knew that reference. Good for you. I am proud of you. Okay, let's get back to work. We are way ahead, way behind, but we've only got a few more movies to do. Onward. Haven't liked a lot of the new... Well, Onward... No, you know what? I've liked the newer Disney movies. I'm not going to say that. That's not fair. Yeah. And just put that there. I really liked Onward a lot. I was actually surprised because it was seen as a lesser film to the other Pixar films. Didn't agree. The two characters are great. The medieval journey, I will say, maybe I should drop this down because I didn't like the world at all. I know that's a very how do you even decide that, really? Who's to say what's a good world and not? I don't know. I don't like the medieval setting pushed into modern times. It feels very forced, I don't know. I don't like seeing really any character pull out a cell phone and play on it. I don't like the fantasy setting being put in this real world environment, even though I do get that's the point. I like the end scene with the dragon. I thought that was very reminiscent of other Pixar films. Of course, I love the two boys' relationship, them trying to get their father back. Yeah, it's sweet. I mean, it's a very personal tale. You can tell with this one, and it makes the emotions that much more powerful. It doesn't always work. I think there is actually Pixar films I'm going to talk about. Actually, maybe I could even let's put it here. Magic. I loved a lot of the characters. The Cyclops. I mean, is it a Minotaur? No, that might have been a Minotaur. Of course, the elves. I didn't even really like that the elves were blue, though. I did like the fantasy environment, though. I liked the mother. I liked a lot of things about this movie. I liked, too, that the message was magic and science need to, work together. I like that. I feel like a lot of films forget that message. It's kind of the message of, I don't want to say it's the message of our show, but it almost is. Toy Story 4. Oh, don't worry. It's not in the C tier. It's a very funny movie. So, gonna be honest, I kind of hate it. Of Toy Story 3, and then you just try to shoehorn in this film. Everything right. They didn't do a lot wrong with Toy Story 4. The comedy is great. It's more beautiful, really, at some level at least, than any of these three. I think the puka is slowing down your stream. And yeah, oh man, it's Toy Story 4. I mean, so different from these films. Even Bo do not work in this film together. Bo Peep was always gentler and kinder in these movies. Here she's like this adventurer, which is just like Woody, and I don't see Woody wanting somebody that's like that. He is an adventurer already. He wants somebody that can kind of ground him, that can just, who wants to be with someone like that when they're so daring, they want to sit down and have this other person being daring with them. It's just, you need someone. I don't even really like the bunny and chick comedy characters. But again, all I can say is, all the acting is really good. The animation is good. The music is good. The story is good. I mean, the plot's great. The whole world is so vibrant. It's one of the most expressive worlds. Really, its problem is being Toy Story 4 and trying to do another film after the first three. I'm sure there's some people out there that'll find an excuse for it. I don't see it. I swear if this thing is still doing that, no, it's okay. it ticks me off. I swear it was sharing. So I do think it's the storm. There's a lot of ice going on. Probably that's what's going on with the volume. But we're going to go through this because we've made it this far. So yeah, Toy Story 4, great film. If it was just its own thing and not Toy Story 4. I'm sorry to say that, but it's true. It's a great film, though. Soul. Ooh. This will be an interesting one. Oh, I need to go to the bathroom so bad. I wish I could just go to the bathroom, but I feel like that would be unprofessional, so I'm going to hold it for all of you. I can hold it for a little while longer. Soul is probably, yeah, it's really good. No, it's not Wall.E levels, though. Is it Ratatouille levels? I'd say it's just below Ratatouille. Though it's still probably like a 99 going on here. I'd say I'll just go through the bad thing first. Didn't like New York City as much as the Soul World. They really tried to make it vibrant too, is the sad thing. There's a lot of course, philosophy going on here. And I agree. I don't really think that his journey was about him just like finding out what the meaning of his life was. I really feel like the whole story was about him accepting death. I don't know. I don't agree with it. But again, that's a complaint that you have to look at it like I'm judging these filmmakers who've worked really hard on this. Is that a fair complaint? I don't know if it is. I can't give it 100% because that'd be dishonest, but I can't give it, but I can give it like a 99 at the very least. Just the whole world, the Soul World itself is so great. And the main character is great. He's so different from any other Pixar character. This is a very personal journey. It's a very artsy movie. It's all about music. I think most people probably like this movie quite a lot. I can see some people thinking it's not at the top tier with Disney, and I guess, yeah, they are kind of right, but it's pretty close to that. I'm putting it above Inside Out, so clearly I must think highly of it. Honestly, Jamie Foxx does a great job. I wouldn't have expected that, but he did. He's a good actor. I've never had a problem with him. Yeah. Yeah, the music's beautiful, of course, obviously. The animation, beautiful. Just the world. It's just the Soul World. All right, we gotta hurry, though. I'm so late. So Luca's the only Pixar film aside of Toy Story 2 I own. Doesn't mean I really like it all that much. Kind of does, though. I would say it's above Toy Story 4. Yeah, I would say. I'd say so. Is it better than Onward? Probably not. Cars 3? Yeah, I'd say better than Cars 3. So I'd say, geez, I kind of feel bad putting It's a Bug's Life. Okay, maybe I'll switch this a little here. Because I do think, yeah, I think that's right. Okay, yeah, Luca is, I'm going to put it, actually, Onward's better. I think one thing they did do wrong with this is having it be like a Studio Ghibli film. I'm really not liking when Pixar, obviously, and they're trying to be Studio Ghibli. If you've ever seen a Studio Ghibli film, it's a lot like Luca. And believe me, it doesn't work with that kind of animation. I mean, this is a very small story about one person's life. I'm not a big fan of Pixar doing that. It just feels like catharsis for the writer. It makes the stories also feel a lot smaller in scale, which when you're comparing it to this, I'm sorry, it's just tough. And the world of Luca it's way more boring even than Onward's world. Definitely more, yeah, no, sorry. Bug's Life is better. The world, that underwater world, though, that really pushes it down. The acting's great, though. I mean, the characters are great. It is a very, a personal story. It's about growth. And it's about such a small thing, They're trying to get a motorcycle. That's it. Like, who even like thinks of that? It's such just like a small little tale, but it's just a personal story. It's about these people's life. No other things on here. I'm down to 2 viewers, but that's okay. I know I've taken too long. I've had a lot to say about these movies, though. There's quite a lot to say. Let's get to the final three. I think I do need to go to the bathroom real quick, guys. I'm sorry. We'll have an intermission at the end here. I'm sorry, I can't hold it anymore. I've been doing this for an hour and a half. So yeah, just wait a sec. We're gonna do a quick intermission. I should be back in about 3 minutes. Okay. I'm sorry, but I've got to go. I pooped. I'm sorry to all of you. I know that was rude. All right, let's finish this off though. Let's see, where were we at? The Good Dinosaur. Yep. Turning Red. Okay, Turning Red. Yeah, no, I don't like it. No, it's fine. Yeah, it's a fine movie. I always found the main character, a little annoying. I know a lot of people were saying that. Sorry. I guess the idea is it's like magical realism or whatever. And again, it's Pixar trying to. It's like this movie. Only this movie managed to get away with it just enough. But this movie, it's trying to be an anime. It just doesn't work with this kind of computer animation style. I really don't think it does. I think a lot of people will be fine with it. I am not. I think the acting was all great. The animation is pretty enough to look at. Nothing exceptional though, like these. It's definitely a lower film. It's probably one of the worst. When people say modern Pixar is bad, this is the one that does come to my mind. Oh, and also this one, of course. Again, the story is good enough. Them going off and trying to get in to watch this boy band. It's a nice small story. Stakes aren't super high. I just, I don't like the character. I know that's not fair to say. Maybe a lot of people love the character. She's complex and all. I don't like her. I find her to be like the most annoying little brat ever. Of course, she is going through puberty, so she's a teenager. So yeah, Either you're going to sympathize with that or you're just going to think it's a crappy teenager. I think it's a crappy teenager. One subject that is interesting to discuss about this film is whether or not we should be talking about these situations with children, what she's going through. I don't care. You all can decide that in the comments whether or not we should be talking about this stuff. I mean, there's some inappropriate stuff, I guess. I don't really like the whole twerking scene. I don't know. When you're talking about little kids going to see this, I think this movie should almost be rated PG-13. There's some stuff in it where I'm like, I don't know, man. This is not that good of a movie. This is not. I guess it's appropriate enough. I wouldn't recommend this film for sure. I'd say it's a C movie, but you can see better. You can see all of these movies easily and have way more fun. Yeah, as far as whether we should talk to children about these issues, I will say, I think it's fair to say, careful. These are very serious issues, and kids can take them the wrong way. I would have taken them wrong as a kid. Kids are smart, and if you explain it well enough, then they can understand, of course. But you do have to really explain it, and it wants to make you mad. I mean, I don't mind. Again, there's not too much in it that's like super inappropriate to me. I think you can talk about it with your kids. Some of it, at least. Some of it, I'm like, no, don't get into this. It's not super inappropriate. I talk about it like it's some kind of like, hey, you want to watch this Pixar film? It's really, really dark, but I guess it's okay enough for kids. So sorry, by the way, about the bathroom break. I really am. I take this stuff very seriously. I do not like to do things like that. I would not have done it unless it was an emergency. Lightyear. Definitely like it better than Turning Red. This is where modern Disney, though, is starting to feel like, man, these three movies are the reason people sometimes complain about modern Disney, whether you like them or not. I think it is these three films. And again, Turning Red, the story is really good, and the characters are complex and all. I guess I just don't like teenagers or something. Even though when I was working in the schools, I loved teenagers, but I don't know. Maybe that's the reason why I didn't like Turning Red. I really don't know. It's Lightyear. I think maybe you've seen this, maybe you haven't. It definitely changes some things up from the original lore of Toy Story. I was not looking forward to this film at all. When I heard that they were going to do a story about Buzz Lightyear that was realistic, I was like, this sounds stupid. And I was right. It's not very good. It's just one of those things where it's passable enough. The cat's funny. The cat is really funny. I could definitely buy a toy cat of that. That I could definitely buy that toy cat. And I mean, Chris Evans does a great job. The actors are fine. The villain, it just comes out of nowhere. It doesn't make any sense, especially to Toy Story lore. The world isn't that beautiful for sure. I don't even really mind they didn't explore other planets, but I think the problem with Pixar is whenever, with the exception of Good Dinosaur, they try to grow up. I really hate when Pixar tries to be adults. It's not who they are. They're movies for kids. You don't have to grow up. I know your audience is growing up, but they want to go show their kids this fun experience like Lightyear. And not like Lightyear, like Incredibles and, Element or Onward or even Luca. Luca was fun enough. Yeah. You'll decide in the comments whether or not you think the stuff discussed in Turning Red is appropriate. I don't know. I'll let you decide. You can decide. I'm not stating my real opinion. There were just a few little moments. Just a few. Mostly the twerking scene. I don't have anything else to say about Lightyear. It's pretty bland. Not terrible, though. Some good action scenes. Good enough characters. Don't even really feel it's a Pixar film, though, at times. Guess it kind of isn't. Elemental's definitely high up there. I don't know why people don't like that one. This is one like where is it? Like Luca, where or Onward, especially, where I'm like, modern Pixar really isn't that bad. I mean, they're still cranking out some real gems. Elemental is probably, I really think I'm actually going to be very different in opinion here, thinking that it's not like Incredibles level. Well, not Finding Nemo or Monsters Inc. either. Probably above Coco, though. The world's beautiful. I mean, the only thing I remember watching this and being like, this is so good. The only thing I'll say is like the plot. There's this moment when they're swimming around underwater and there's just not a lot going on and it doesn't really like do anything for the story. I feel like it should have been done quicker if they were going to do it at all. That's it. I mean, these two characters, I love the fact that this guy is so sad. I really do. I think makes him such an interesting guy. And the thing is, some people will be like, "Oh, he's just a sad bucket." But that's his whole world. His whole world, all the people around him are crying too. It's the water people. They're criers. They're water, so they cry. Do you get it? The world's beautiful. Maybe a bad comedy character here and there. I actually think it's really one of Pixar's best. Anything going on wrong? Looks like everybody's okay. We've really gone past time. That's okay. This is Pixar. We're going to take our time with it. But yeah, I don't want to say too much more. I mean, if that's the biggest complaint I have, it's a very small complaint. I mean, all the acting. I guess, too, I'm not going to lie. It's the small scales of the story. I also think that whole thing with them, with the dam, it just kind of, it wasn't the kind of climax I would hope for from a Pixar film. I almost wish they would bring back villains because kind of needed one in this one. But then again, the plot is really good, where this story goes. I didn't even expect at the beginning that this guy and this girl were going to fall in love. I mean, I did because I'd seen the trailer, but if I hadn't known that from the trailer, I would have never guessed. And it's just this build up to their romance. I guess the ending with, I don't want to give anything away though. Not going to give that away. I did give away the damn thing, but it doesn't ruin anything for the movie, I don't think. You'll just have to know there's like a dam. And that's it. Okay. Wow, we're done. Elementals is great. Definitely a great movie. Surprised people don't like it more. And I will say Inside Out 2, weirdly enough, I think it's an A. Probably below. No, I'd say about, definitely better here. Probably about here. So yeah. Inside Out 2 is another one of those small stories. I don't know. I don't really know why I disliked Inside Out 2 a little bit. Not much, though. I think it's just because I'm an adult now and I'm getting more critical, maybe. Maybe if I'd watched it as a kid, I'd like it even more. It's a very small story, though. I will be honest and say that when I watched Inside Out 2, I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, beautiful, just like the first one, really. I guess I just didn't feel like it had as much reason to exist. I don't know. Whatever, I'm ranking it very high. I'm putting it right here. In a way, the personal stories are pretty cool. I really don't like it when Pixar tries to be Studio Ghibli or an anime, but it's just my opinion. So that is it. That's my official rankings, and I am not changing a thing here. No, it's a ranking so high is because they got lucky with when they came out. If they came out later, some of these story beats probably would have been tired, but it was the first time they'd been done, so they really, really got away with it. Yeah, I do really like Toy Story 3, though. I'd keep it there, though. So, at number 1, Toy Story 2. At number 2, Toy Story. At number 3, Toy Story 3. At number 4, Up. At number 5, Wall.E. At number 6, Ratatouille. At number 7, Souls. At number 8, Inside Out. At number 9, The Incredibles. At number 10, Finding Nemo. At number 11, Monsters Inc. At number 12, Elemental. At number 13, Coco. At number 14, Onward. At number At number 17, Cars 3. At number 18, Cars. At number 19, Monsters. At number 20, Finding Dory. At number 21, Toy Story 4. At number 22, Brave. At number 23, Incredibles 2. At number 24, Cars 2. At number 26, Turning Red. At number 27, The Good Dinosaur. Which is admittedly kind of cute. So none of the Disney movies actually would go below D. None of the Pixar ones. Now that will eventually happen, I am sure. Eventually, Pixar is going to make something that's going to go down in the trash barrel. But luckily we didn't have to use it with this one, so good for you, Pixar. I am proud of you. Oh, and you'll just have to include Inside Out in your mind. It's too new to actually rank it. So I'm just kind of putting it there just to say it's there. Ranking. I'd have to actually watch it again if I wanted to give a more accurate ranking, to be honest. It's too new, it needs a little time. Well, anyways, no one's here anymore. So I hope you all enjoyed this. I'm sorry so much went wrong. I really am. And I'm glad that it's working now. And I swear, I've made mistakes on this channel, but I swear on the holy book of the Almost Everything channel that I did not have anything to do with that scream. It had to have been a puka. It had to have been. And it's a lot more complicated than that. So it had to have been the storm. Real quick, we're going to watch Smiling Friends, and then we're going to get out of here. So yeah, if you're looking, that's the official ranking. The hardest part of this list, I will say, before we end off with this and go on to Smiling Friends, is choosing between these three. Which, Toy Story isn't my favorite trilogy. It would still be Lord of the Rings, because these movies are like, 5 hours long, or maybe like 3, probably 4.5. And the Lord of the Rings movies are Two Towers is 99%, Return of the Kings 100%, and officially now, Lord of the Rings like a 96, I'd say. Yeah, it's really good. All of those movies are so good. The fact that Toy Story did do this, though, 300 would be applauded. I mean, maybe I just love Toy Story. I don't know. It helps that it came out early. I'm not going to lie, but they are all just incredible films. And yeah, it's one of the greatest film trilogies of all time. Second place to Friends. Alan. All right, we'll watch a little. If this isn't appropriate, I will say sorry. I hope it's not going to be inappropriate. I don't think it is. I looked at these scenes, and this one looked okay. Just find it here. It probably will be inappropriate. So maybe if you're a child watching this, this is the time to click off. And we will watch just not a 13-minute one. They're all great. They're all just so great. Toy Story 3 really should be ranked higher, but I'm not going to do that. I don't even really know why. They're all 100%. They're all really in the same vein. They probably all would rank. If I had the greatest movies list, they'd all probably rank similar. Probably one space between each other with some other movie. I don't know. Okay. We'll do Alan. I know you can't see it right now. I'll get it up. Just joking. Okay, and that's it for the Pixar tier. Take one last look. Okay. Hold on a sec. Give it a sec. We're almost done, everybody. I know that was long. It's Pixar. What can I say? Share. Okay. Didn't think I noticed that, did you? I did. All right. This is it. This is all we're doing tonight, and then we're just going to get out of here. That was a hard decision, though, between those 3 Toy Story films, I have to say. Man, that was hard. These movies are so good. They're also alike in quality. It's amazing, too, that
2 sides and 2 drinks for only $19.99.
It's amazing, too, those 3 Toy Story movies, all 3 of those ranked that high at 100%. They're doing something
I
right.
love even numbers, especially $19.99.
wanted my cheese.
Yeah, kids might want to leave.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Again.
1, 2. Clip, did you take a paper clip? I counted 74 last time, and now there's only 73. I will get you. Nobody takes Alan's precious piece of cheese and gets away with it. Yes, and I got my cheese back. No.
Oh, come here, Alan, you crazy character.
No. No. Yo, Alan,
That
you hose
hit me on the nose.
This homeless man won't leave, so I'm spraying him with dirty brown water. See you now. Watch, he startled me. Ew, that's disgusting.
Self-protection
I hate
right
this
there,
guy.
I think.
Don't get nervous now, man. What? Ask your question. Go ahead. What?
Look, asshole, I'm just wondering
Asshole?
if you have any...
Yep.
Yeah, asshole.
Children
Did
leave.
you call me an
Children
asshole?
Yes, I
leave.
did, because you're being
No,
an
no, no, no,
asshole.
no,
Why don't
no,
you
no,
help
no.
me?
Asshole.
I'm not sure what how the stuff works, so I did warn you beforehand. Probably isn't good enough. though.
God damn it. Thank God.
Warned you.
Finally. What the fuck? What is this?
All right, we're gonna stop. That's enough of that. Thank goodness I warned you, children. That was so much for you. Check Ski Biddy, I guess, real quick, just to make those people happy. Well, I'm going to do a Christmas stream anyways, so we'll just do it then. Yeah. All right, well, I will put a warning up in case children watch. But as far as it... No, you know what? No, it's fine. I warned you before it, so it should be fine. Yeah. All right, well, I guess I'll be seeing you all. I hope you enjoyed this. I don't know if anything really that big went on wrong or not, but I had a lot of fun. And it's really hard to decide between the 3 Toy Story movies, I will say. That was very difficult, and I already have regrets. So let's just leave before I end up changing it. Toy Story 2, though, wow. Chef's kiss. And as always, a Merry Christmas, and I love you all. Like a lot. Like a real lot. Just kind of creepy, actually.